The advice and opinions expressed by the host of Autism Live and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice. The Center for Autism and Related Disorders advises working with a board-certified behavior analyst who has experience with autism before starting any intensive behavioral intervention. Any choices you make in determining your child's treatment are completely at your own discretion.
Good morning and welcome to Autism Live. This is Charles, better known as Cheese, and he's our new mascot. So if you hear little woofing that's happening during the show, it's because Cheese hangs out with me during the show, right, Cheese? This was one of Joanne's 3 dogs, and he is now living with us and our puppy Doodle. And say hi, Cheese. Hi. So he's every once in a while. Do you want to get down? Every once in a while, you'll hear him give a little huff, and that he's sneezing right now. I just wanted you to know what it was. It's not bad vacuuming. It is Cheese. Hey, so I'm Shannon Penrod, and we're coming to you live from the house and other places around Los Angeles. We're so excited to be here with you this morning. We got a big show planned for you, and I'm so excited because we have some really talented performers who are going to be joining us in just a few minutes. And that always fills my heart. And I just want to remind, since we brought up Joanne, I want to remind everybody that day after tomorrow on Saturday is the virtual memorial for Joanne Lara, and we're excited and nervous about that. The Center for Autism and Related Disorders has graciously donated their Zoom webinar platform so that we can invite anybody who wants to come and be a part of it. And we're really appreciative to them for doing that. And so Traven and I are running the tech end of the behind the scenes end of the memorial. And, we're excited to have an opportunity to do that and to serve Joanne. And we're hoping that, we're saying thank you for good internet. I was told the other day, don't just keep asking for good internet. Say thank you for providing good internet. So that's what I'm doing. So that is on Saturday, and all of you are welcome to come. The speakers are going to be off the chain. We have Ed Asner, Joe Montaigne, Chuck Saffler, Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh, and many more. Dr. Temple Grandin, Dr. Stephen Shore. I mean, it's just going to be a really amazing program, we hope. Fingers crossed. Internet, thank you for good internet. In any case, we're here today on Autism Live, and we're going to be talking about autism from a 360-degree perspective. We hope that you'll hear something today that will provide you information and inspiration, right? We'll take both, but either or would work, right? That is our mission here, and I want to be clear that our mission, we're really speaking out to the greater autism community, and that starts, of course, with that beautiful core of individuals who are on the autism spectrum, of course, because we want to serve them and give them a voice and give them an opportunity to tell us what they need so that we can better serve them. But we also extend our hope and our mission to those who love individuals on the autism spectrum, because we know we get there as a community. Si se puede, right? We hold hands virtually to get there. So that's what we're about. If you are a parent, a teacher, a sibling, a spouse, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend of someone who's on the autism spectrum, we welcome you as well to be here to learn about the things that you can do to provide support and to fight for the rights of the individual that you love on the autism spectrum, that they be treated with the dignity that they deserve, that they are able to pursue the things that they want to pursue, that they have the resources to do that, that they get the employment, the housing, the respect that is owed to them. That's what we're about, top to bottom. And I always like to remind you guys that we have experts that are on the show. I'm not one of them, but I am one of the part of the community that loves someone on the autism spectrum. I love many people on the autism spectrum, but it started with my son, who was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2.5. He's now a beautiful 17 and amazing and the light of my life, right? But there were times when we were having a really hard time and he was struggling to be able to do the things that he wanted to do, to be able to communicate what he needed. We got great resources. And part of the reason why I feel compelled to be here is to help you to get to what you need. It's not one size fits all, right? I love, speaking of Dr. Stephen Shore, he's famous for having said, if you've met one person with autism, you have met one person with autism, right? It's not a one size fits all. But we hope that we can help you to connect to things that are purposeful and meaningful to all of the members of that community that we were talking about, the autism, the greater autism community, right? And by greater, I mean larger. And somebody already wrote in and said, we love the Miracle Project. And so I'm glad that you're here today, because we are going to be featuring in just a little while Elaine Hall and a few of the performers from the Miracle Project, because they have a show that's opening tonight. And if you're wondering, wait a second, I think you're in Los Angeles, Shannon, and I don't know how you're opening a show tonight. Let's wait till we talk to Elaine Hall and she'll tell us more information about that. But before we get there, we have to remind you that the show is interactive in all parts of it, including when we have the folks from the Miracle Project on. We love to hear your thoughts, feelings, questions, and concerns. We love it when you just say hi. We're saying good morning to Michelle right now, and good morning to Raquel as well. So feel free to write in on whatever platform you're watching. For those of you who are new to the program, hi, Wendy. Hi, Swathi. Excited that I'm going to be on Swathi's radio show on Monday afternoon. Swathi and I are going to be talking on her radio show, so that will be really fun. But we have a bunch of different ways that you can interact with us here. Want to remind you that we are live right now on Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube. And later on, it will still exist recorded on those platforms, but we will also podcast it to iTunes, Deezer, iHeartRadio, and I'm forgetting one. Spotify. That's what I'm forgetting. And we are always live and recorded on autism-live.com. That's our homepage. And there's a lot you can do on the homepage. You can search back through old shows. If there's a topic that you want to research, or you're like, I just love Dr. Temple Grandin, and I just want to see Dr. Temple Grandin, there's a whole playlist where you don't have to search through to find all the videos that she's in. They're there. There's also a playlist, for instance, for the Ask Dr. Doreen's, and a couple, like if you just tune in for the recipes and you've been missing the recipes, the playlist is there. Go to our website and click on the what's left, and you can see all the fabulous things that you can cook without using gluten, dairy, soy, what's left, right? That's why it's called What's Left. All right, so check that out. By the way, while you're there, there is a chat button at the bottom of that page, and it's free and anonymous. And in addition to the other ways that you can participate with us, there is that chat on autism-live.com. We're getting ready, we're getting geared up to start working on our toy guide. And so I want to remind everybody too, if you've been looking for a toy, something that's right for the individual, and I say toy because I still like toys and I still like all the toys, but there are adult things that I love, like we had some puzzles on a couple of weeks ago. We're going to get back to featuring some toys and games, but in the meantime, if you're looking for something, we have 3 years worth of toy guides that are available. If you want the most recent one, click the toy guide at the top of the page on autism-live.com. If you want the other two, just click on blog, because they are the top 2 posts there. We moved them so that they would be there. Wasn't that nice of us? And by the way, I think in all 3 of those, maybe only the last 2 years, you guys asked us to make it interactive, so that if there was a toy that you liked, you wanted to be able to click on the name of the toy and go to a place where you could purchase it. I just want to be clear that we're not getting a percentage of that. That we just did that because that was something you guys asked, because you were like, don't make me have to go write down the name and go Google search it. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a pain in the neck. So it does, the toy connects directly with where you can purchase it. Can I share your Autism Live to my support group? Absolutely, of course. There is a button, especially on YouTube and on Facebook, where you can share us with whoever you would like to. We are here to be a free resource, and we would like to be on as many screens for free as we possibly can. We work on a very tight budget, and there is no money for promotion or PR. We really count on the grassroots of all of you. So I'm supposed to remind you all the time, and I forget to, that please share us. Please like us on Facebook. Please subscribe to us either on Facebook, on our homepage, or on YouTube, or all of them. And please leave a review for us on iTunes, because that helps more people. Believe it or not, the algorithm is such that the more reviews you get on iTunes, the more they bump you up, and then they give you free PR. They recommend you to people because it seems like people are watching. So absolutely, please share. The one thing that we ask is that you share from the link so that we keep a count of how many people are watching the show. That's what makes it possible for us to keep the lights on, is that if we're relevant, then we can keep the lights on. So please share from the mother link. We have had people before just take our stuff and you know, I understand that. And as much as I want, you know, there is a way for you to take it and still have us get the counts. That's all. So there you go. All right. So on Thursdays, we like to start the show with something we fondly refer to as the jargon of the day. And this is when we take on one word, one phrase, one acronym. We try to figure out what in the hey nani are the experts talking about? Why do we need to know this? Why does it matter? Can't we just be left alone? And why do they have to make it so difficult, right? But the longer we're here, the more we learn that the jargon terms, if we make friends with them, they can be helpful to us. So what we do here is we give you first the actual definition, then a working definition, and then we try to break it down a little bit. Whenever possible, I try to make fun of the actual definition, because most of them are, not all of them, but a lot of them are useless. Unless you have a degree in like law and psychology and ABA, they're paperweights. They're just not useful. They could, you know, stop a door because some of them are long enough, but other than that, right? So let's take a look. Today's jargon term is ABA. Now, I sort of put the cart before the horse, but the last 3 days, so on Monday, our jargon term was DTT. On Tuesday, it was NET, and today we've arrived at ABA. If you watch this show, this is something that we talk about a fair amount, and there's a good reason why. So let's take a look at what our actual definition of ABA is. ABA is Applied Behavior Analysis. That's what ABA stands for. Notice it's not behavioral analysis. I know that that's like a really small thing, but when you're at a table and you want to make it look like you know what you're talking about, that is a definitive thing. For folks who say, well, applied behavioral analysis, that shows that you're new to the game. So learn that applied behavior analysis. It's the application of the principles of learning and motivation from behavior analysis. Well, there you go. That clarified the whole thing. It employs procedures and technology derived from scientifically demonstrated principles of behavior to increase socially significant behaviors and decrease unwanted or inappropriate behaviors. I got to be honest, like I really hate this definition because it really doesn't tell me what we're talking about. And it throws in these things about unwanted and inappropriate behaviors. It feels judgy to me. Does it feel judgy to you? It feels a little judgy to me. So, and I don't like that because my understanding of ABA and how ABA has worked in my life is not judgy. So I don't like that. Let's move on to our working definition and see if we can't poke some holes in this thing and see what holds water. So ABA is a proven method of increasing or teaching desired behavior and reducing unwanted behavior. So, you know, think about anybody in life who wants to learn something and wants to learn it in a way that's really effective, because the whole point of learning is so that you can, have this thing and be able to use it. Like, nobody wants to walk around and just be a receptacle of knowledge. The whole point of learning is so that you can gain knowledge and be able to use it and make it your own. And as a former teacher, and I think once a teacher, always a teacher, I believe that we all should be curious and wanting to learn and grow our whole lives. I know it's not necessarily everybody's thing, but I really like to be around people who want to learn, and I love to learn something new. I don't want to know everything, but every once in a while I'll be like, ooh, I want to learn how to do that, right? And when I want to learn how to do something, I don't want to spend all my time being frustrated, and I don't want to get to the point where I go, well, that's it. I guess I just can't learn that. If I was curious enough to want to learn it, then I want to be able to learn it. So I want to work with teachers who are good at what they do and who know how to make it so that I can learn and that I can progress, right? And the fact of the matter is that ABA is widely considered the greatest teaching method that there is, because it's effective. Because it's effective, and because people do make progress and they learn how to do things, and it makes for a happier person the way that you do it, because it's not browbeating somebody. It's not that. So here's the truth of ABA. All kinds of people use ABA. I know that ABA gets talked about in the autism world, and everybody goes, oh, ABA is an autism therapy. Well, I mean, that is true. And it is the only autism therapy that has been found to be effective for all different kinds of people on the autism spectrum, of all different abilities and all different ages. That's true. But it just so happens that ABA is not an autism therapy only. It is actually a proven method of increasing and teaching behaviors that we want to do, and can help us to decrease behaviors that we don't want to do. So businesses use this, nursing homes use this, Olympic athletes use this, people who want to perform at their highest level use ABA. So I want you to know that. But it just so happens that a couple of people experimented with ABA, but it wasn't until Ivar Lovaas in the 80s decided that he wanted to work with younger kids on the autism spectrum, and he wanted to work with them intensively over an intense period of time. He was doing 40 hours of therapy with them over a 2-year period. And what he found was definitively that ABA was an effective tool to teach individuals on the autism spectrum. He found that definitively. In fact, it was so effective that roughly around 40, I think it's like, because different studies show different things, but 40 something, I think one shows 42, one shows 47, one shows 49. So 40 something percent of kiddos who received during a certain window of time between the ages of 3 and 5, if they got intensive ABA that was done quality ABA, that was done a minimum of 40 hours a week, that somewhere in the neighborhood of the 40 whatever percent of them would no longer need support for the rest of their lives. I know. Take that in for a moment, because you may not have heard that. In all the chatter, sometimes that gets lost, but that's the core. That 40 some odd percent, if they got intensive ABA over a minimum of 2 years, would no longer need support for the rest of their lives. Now, it wasn't everybody. Let's be clear about that. It wasn't everybody. But so what happened to that other 40 some odd percent that, or 50 whatever percent that didn't get to the point where they didn't need support the rest of their lives? They still made tremendous progress. They just made it in different categories. There was actually 2 other groups, one that made tremendous progress but still needed a bit of support in their lives. And then there was a third category of people who needed more significant support, but they still made tremendous progress. It's just the things that they made progress in were different than the other 2 groups. They made progress in adaptive skills. They were able to be toileted. They were able to do chores. They were able to have functional communication, but they still were going to need some significant support the rest of their life. Now, knowing this, like when this study broke in 1987, it was earth-shattering to parents all over the world. And there was a growing movement of people who said, now that I know that, and nobody else using any other teaching technique has been able to demonstrate anything close to that, I want for my child to get ABA. Now, I will say that ABA has gone through a lot of different changes. And now, because of all the studies, hundreds of studies now that show the effectiveness of ABA, in the last few years, laws were passed that forced insurance to pay for ABA. And that's all of the 50 states have some sort of a mandate now here in the United States about covering ABA. That doesn't mean that everybody has access to it yet, but we're closer than we've ever been before. But so here's a couple of the rubs here. The biggest thing that I want people to know is that a lot of times parents are veering from what the research said. This is a proven method, scientific basis that says, here are the things that we know. And we don't know everything, but here are the things that we know. If kids within that window of 3 to 5 get that intensive ABA, and you've heard people say early intervention, early intervention, early intervention. But it isn't just early intervention, it's early intensive intervention. That gives you the best window for success. Now, is that everything? Does that mean if you have a 7-year-old, well, you're done, peace out, you missed the boat? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means that the studies have not been done in that area, and it means you're gonna have to fight harder. But we see kids make progress at 7 all the time. We see people who are 17 make progress. We see people who are 77 make progress using ABA. So ABA is a tool, which means that it's important that you be using the tool with people who know how to use the tools. And it's great that insurance is funding ABA. It is absolutely fabulous. We like celebrate it when ABA is paid for by insurance. It's an amazing, amazing thing. But it does mean that a lot of people have hung out a shingle and said, hey, I'm an ABA provider. There is a board that governs and says that people have to be a board certified behavior analyst, which is great. So we have a baseline of people who know ABA. But I would say to you, you need someone who not only knows ABA, but knows ABA in the world of autism and has experience, and that they have proven results. And then there are a lot of other things that go into making a quality ABA provider. But I just want to tell you, if you are listening to me and you are a person who's struggling, whether you yourself are on the autism spectrum or you have a loved one who's on the autism spectrum and you're struggling with something, please look into ABA. You're going to see a lot of things, and we talk about that here on the show. Everyone is not a fan of ABA. I would say to you that most of the people who are not fans of ABA are not fans of the earliest version, which wasn't even called ABA then. It was called behavior modification. And if you've got a good quality ABA provider, it is so very not related to that. And I can talk about that ad infinitum. But all I want you to know is the reason why I get so hepped up about this, the reason why it just means the world to me, is because I was someone who was told not to do ABA with my child. See, I'm gonna get emotional. I was told by a developmental pediatrician, do not do ABA with your child. And she told me that it would turn him into a robot and that that they would treat him less than human. And so I said, well, we're not doing that, because that is not the kind of parent I am. If you know me, you know that that is not me. And so for 6 months, while my child lost all functional communication, I was offered ABA services because I lived in the great state of California and they were offering it to me for free. And I said, no, more times than you could shake a stick at. I said, no. And then finally, I met a family and I met their child, and their child was doing amazingly and he was talking in full sentences. And that child was Logan Shepard. You've seen him before on the show. And that family told me about good quality ABA. and they said, you gotta take a look at this, because in fact, what they said was, you got to go to CARD because miracles happen there. And I saw this young man. I saw how he was doing, and I saw videos of how he had been before, and I saw videos of what CARD was doing with him, and I was sold. And then they gave me a book to read that was by Christina Adams, and we have Christina on the show all the time. She wrote a book called A Real Boy. Changed my life. We started at CARD. It was hard. We fought and fought and fought everybody to get started at CARD. And for my son, it was more than 2 years. Just keeping it real here. Just keeping it real. It was 5 years. Not all of them at 40 hours, but in the beginning, it was 40 hours a week. And I remember thinking that was crazy. Crazy good is what it is. And my son is 17 and he's a senior now, as of the other day. And we are writing down all the colleges he's applying to. And people are like, so what colleges is he applying to? Well, Harvard and, USC and all these amazing schools. That's where my life is. And my son and I have deep conversations about everything under the sun. This is why it's important to me. If I had listened to that first person and not done what we did, quality ABA, I don't know where we would be. And I can't even think about it. I just want you to know it's there. It's available. You're going to have to work to get it, but it's available there for you. Please, if you're listening to me and you're not sure, call me up, write to me. Let's talk. ABA, quality ABA can make a huge, huge difference. All right. I don't want to waste any more time because we're getting behind here, but you know where I'm coming from. All right, moving on. We always have a question of the day for you. And the question is, who do you wish you could meet? Like, who would you love to meet? Like, let's just put it out there into, because you know who I want to meet. Like, if you watch this show, I want to meet Oprah. I just want to meet Oprah. I've met a lot of people. It's been very exciting in my life, but I have not yet met Oprah. But I will boohoo cry. But I want to meet Oprah. That's who I want to meet. Okay, but who do you want to meet? I want to know who you want to meet. Okay, next, we always have our topic, of the week. And our topic this week is climbing the mountain. And we've been talking about how important it is. You stand at the base, you look up at the top of the mountain, and it seems really far away. You got to get on the mountain. You got to get on the path. And when you start walking up the path, you can't see the top of the mountain anymore when you're on the path. That's okay. You focus on what's in front of you, but you keep moving. And that's how you get to the top of the mountain. And we will get there. Si se puede, right? We hold hands, we will get there together. And I love that our guests that are going to be on the show today are people who've been climbing the mountain and they're someplace really fabulous. And it's important when you're climbing the mountain every once in a while to stop, look and go, look at how far we've come. Right. So I really, really love our guest today, and she's got some wonderful guests that she's bringing with her. Of course, we're talking about Elaine Hall from the Miracle Project. And I hope that you guys tuned in on HBO to see Autism, the sequel, earlier in April, at the very end of April, that was playing on HBO. And I hope that you've seen the first one, Autism, the musical. Coachy Elaine Hall. Is she with us, Traven? Because if she is, let's go ahead and bring Elaine Hall in. She's an amazing, look at that, a Miracle Project, Rehearsing for Life. Amazing, amazing organization, amazing performers. Do we have Elaine? I think we've got some of her students here, but we're going to hold off on those until we have Elaine here with us. And hopefully, let me check my phone to see if Elaine's having a problem. Okay, so there she is. Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. We have our show tonight, and so it's kind of,
it's like giving birth. It's like you work and work and work on something, and now you're going to put it out there for the world to see. It's a very exciting time, and I'm sure you're very busy. So I'm glad you could spend a few minutes with us today.
Oh, always. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're my favorite place to be. So thank you so much.
We've got a lot of new viewers on today. So tell them a little bit about the Miracle Project and how it came to be, Elaine.
Okay, the Miracle Project is a fully inclusive, neurodiverse, theater, film, social skills, life skills, work skills, and creative expression program for all ages and all abilities. And it started when I'm a TV and film acting coach. And when my son was diagnosed with autism, traditional therapies didn't work for him. But what did work was creativity and music and dance and drama. And when I joined his world, he was able to emerge into our world. I started training with some of the greats. Dr. Grampiche, of course, I learned from her. I learned from Dr. Greenspan. I learned from Barry Prezant and Stephen Shore, and created a methodology so that I could train my actor, singer, dancer friends how to join my son's world. And as a result of that, he merged into our world, still autistic, still non-speaking, but happy, joyous, connected. And those methods are now the inclusion from within methods and have been replicated across the globe. And we create original musicals, and that's what we're doing tonight.
Amazing. And especially in this time, I mean, we have theater, I'm seeing some of the places that I subscribe to, they're just canceling their entire season for the next year, but not the Miracle Project. You have said, we're taking this online. And so explain to us what's happening tonight, how people could participate, how they can view, and what this is going to be like.
Thanks, Shannon. Well, it's exactly what you said. We were supposed to go live at our artistic home, the Wallace Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts, and we were supposed to perform in June 11th. And when we found out that we were not going to be able to, it was heartbreaking, and I didn't want our students to be disappointed. So in less than a month and a half, we created an original musical for Zoom, and the students actually have filmed themselves and learned how to do audio recording. And I mean, it's been unreal and phenomenal what they've accomplished. We have a brilliant music director, Noel Katz, and assistant director, Sandy Abramson, and then our genius editor, Justin Anthony Long, pieced it together. And I think I've got a couple of the students that are here.
Yeah, let's welcome them. Let's, Traven, go ahead and let them in. And then Coach E, we're going to have you introduce everybody to us.
Wonderful. And I think, is there a trailer too to show?
Yeah, there is a trailer. Should we do that while we let them in?
That's a great idea.
Okay, so let's do that. Traven, go ahead and go to the trailer. And so the name of this show is The Influencer?
Yes. And the idea is, how are we influenced by society, corporations, music, and how does it impact us? And how do we make a positive influence on others?
Well, that's pretty timely. Here we go. Here's the trailer. Well, that is just awesome. That is just awesomeness. And so we see that we are welcoming. Go ahead and introduce us, Coach. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. So tell us who we're looking at, Elaine.
Oh, I get to introduce them. Okay.
Yes.
So we have the stars of the show, and we have Dominique Brown, who plays Frankie T, who's one of the cool kids, and is at first misunderstood by some of the kind of our more intellectual students. And at first he's misunderstood, but then they realize that he's a super nice guy and actually brings in, he's a musician, and Dom has some songs a song that he wrote. And then he's also singing along with another one of our actors who wrote another song. And then we have his amazing mom, Monique. And
hi, Shannon.
Monique, hi. So good to see you guys.
Good
Yep.
to see
Good
you.
to see
too.
you.
And Monique, the parents and siblings had to help with filming. So I thought we'd bring Monique on to kind of share a little bit about that. And
Wonderful.
then we also have Jojo and Dylan Kidman. And they are a brother and sister act, but they play entirely different roles. And I'll let you tell them a little bit, but Jojo plays one of the high school students, and she's hilarious and wonderful. And Dylan is our scientist who helps to craft a potion that has I'm not going to give it away, but has an influence on culture. And also Dylan was one of our writers. So Dylan
Wonderful.
worked with us in the beginning when we had a really long script, and then helped us condense it and make it meaningful in the version that you'll see. And it's actually a complete half-hour virtual musical that you'll see.
Love it. Before I ask you guys questions, where are we getting the tickets and how much are the tickets and all of that, Elaine?
So the tickets can be found on the Miracle Project website, themiracleproject.org, themiracleproject.org, and you'll see ticketing information. And what's really exciting is, well, tonight is our premiere, and we found out that what we're doing is historic, never been done, with a neurodiverse cast, all filmed in quarantine, an original musical. So we have made history, and you'll be making history with us tonight. And then on Sunday, we have a 4:00 Pacific time, 7:00 Eastern time, where we are having it captioned, and we have a sign language interpreter. So we really want to make the show accessible to everyone. So I'm really jazzed.
Okay, so Dom, I want to talk to you and your mom first, and then we'll come to you guys, Dylan and Jojo. But Dom, you've been with the Miracle Project for a while. How long have you been doing the Miracle Project?
Exactly since 2014. That's 7 years.
7 years.
Wow. And I've gotten to see you perform. You are amazingly talented, and I think you know that, and I've told you that before. And I'm sure you just must be so proud of him, Mom.
I am. I'm very proud of him and very excited to see the production that they put on.
Yeah.
I know that they worked really hard. Well, we all did, but
I'm
they
sure.
really worked hard. So,
But
and
the
this is
parents are important.
different for them. So,
Yeah. But Dom, you're somebody who's been performing a lot. Maybe if you could help the parents that are watching understand, what does this do for you, having the opportunity to perform?
It gives me the opportunity to shine, and I help others understand that it's more than just being autistic. It's also being a human being. So sorry.
No. That's absolutely beautiful. And I can't imagine a world in which you didn't get to perform. So I can't imagine how hard this shutdown has been for you, but are you really glad that you got an opportunity to still perform during this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's different, but we still get to have the opportunity.
Do you get antsy when you don't get to perform? Do you get like, oh, I gotta do something?
Yeah, sort of.
Does he have a hard time, Mom?
yes, he needs to do something. He has to perform. Well, yeah, he does.
I've got a husband who's an actor, and he gets crabby if he doesn't perform. So I can't imagine. So now Dylan and Jojo, so happy to welcome you to the show for the first time. And I'm thrilled that you guys are here. Is this your first time doing something with the Miracle Project?
I did some stuff with them when I was little, but this is my first big thing in the last few years.
And what's it like doing this with your brother and your sister? Is this more fun or is it sometimes hard?
Well, we get along very well.
Very well.
Yeah, we've always wanted to do a show together.
And so you've been performing before but you're now performing with the Miracle Project. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been doing a lot of musical theater on my own, and we both really enjoy it.
But this is the first time you're doing something together?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very special.
Well, that's a reason to tune in just for that. Now, did you help each other to film the things together?
Yeah, we definitely helped each other. I mean, we both have different strengths and weaknesses. Yeah.
JoJo's better at the music aspect. I'm better at like the technology and filming aspect.
So we would like film each other and help with like vocal warm-ups and stuff.
So this is a question for all of you. What was the hardest part of putting this show together during this quarantine? Elaine, do you want to go first?
Let's see. The hardest part for me, I mean, I've loved it. I mean, I love that I get to see them every week. I love their energy. I love getting to be with them. And like Dom has been an incredible leader. He's always bringing out the other students. I mean, he was going to be one of our assistants this year, and he's just naturally been doing it. Seeing everybody and the helpfulness that they've been for each other. The hardest part, I guess, is, we want to hug each other. I think that's it. But we feel each other's hearts. And I think that's been the hardest part for me, learning technology, but I'm good. I'm showing others now how to do it. I'm becoming an expert on Zoom.
I'm telling you, your editor clearly is genius. I love that trailer. Absolutely amazing. So Dom, what's been the hardest part for you of putting this together?
I feel like there's like been two things that have been hard for this round. One is, not being there with all the people that you care about and hope that you get to see every day. The other is the recording, because it usually gets hot when you throw the blanket over your head.
And the reason why I'm asking in case anybody's wondering, the reason why I'm asking what was hard is because clearly you overcame it. And I think there are a lot of people who are watching who are faced with like something that they feel like they can't do or something that's hard. And I just want them to see like, but you can, like people overcome things every day. Michelle, what was the hardest part for you? Excuse me, Monique, I'm so sorry.
The filming, the technology, learning how to, when you have to film these things and they're in this large, what do you call it? I mean, large files, and you're trying to get them over on time, and the technology. But I can say I have learned a lot from it. Like Elaine, I'm expert now. I know how to Zoom. I know how to send and record and zoom in and zoom out, and we'll see how good we did.
And forgive me, because one of our viewers, Michelle, had just said, I'm looking forward to seeing this. And Kirsten had said, I set up a watch live party on my Facebook for my non-autistic community, which is wonderful. And so I was looking at her comment, but so I apologize, Monique.
No problem.
You and I know each other from way back when. Yes. I still have your fan from way back when. So every time I see her, I'm like, I've got your fan. And it's a beautiful fan. I need to get it back to you. So Dylan and JoJo, what's been the hardest for you? What's been the thing that you've overcome in doing this?
So for me, the hardest part was definitely having to be flexible and condensing the script for a different format. We had to cut out a bit of the content in order to make it fit into the video format versus the live action format.
Yes.
And I had to be flexible for that.
That's awesome.
It was very hard to adjust to doing video and the audio separately. Typically, we just do it together. So there was a lot of adjustment to that. That was something I overcame. It was also hard when we were all in a group together. We could only do one thing at a time.
Yeah. Well, but I love hearing all this because you can hear, Elaine, how many skills have been built because of it having to be this way.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I have to do my filming for the behind the scenes, and I'm anxious about it, but they give me strength and hope because, you know, what they have accomplished is really unbelievable. People would say it's impossible. And you guys, I'm so verklempt.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud of you and in awe of what they've done. I mean, they had to audio record songs. They had to, and then they had to visually move to the songs separately. Audio record, what Dom was referring to is they had to put a blanket over their head to create the space. Our music director had to compose to get all the rhythms, because what you're going to see and what you saw in the video, all of that was filmed. All of the songs were filmed one person at a time. And yet it looks like we were all in a room. So what they had to overcome, their flexibility, as Dylan was saying, the patience, the waiting, and that's the thing. And for your viewers is this team, they're the Miracle Project company, and they've shown that you can when you put your mind to it, you can overcome challenges and do what people think is impossible, and do it with grace and dignity and the idea of teamwork and working for a higher good. And then one of the moms said something to me the other day. She said that because everybody trusted each other and they trusted the staff, that you were all able to just go along this ride with us. Do you feel that that was something that was important to you? Is that trust?
You guys, Dylan and JoJo and Dom, did you guys feel like the trust, Monique?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Somebody has written in something, and I'm going to love this, because it used to be in the pre-COVID world, we would have the Miracle Project on, and this is the point when everybody would be like, oh, we wish this was here. And we would say to people, it could be, you could just ask for Elaine to bring her team, and, she picks 2 places in the world every year. And, year by year, 2 more places have the Miracle Project, but, it's not everybody. A parent has written in and said, my daughter would love to take classes, but unfortunately we live in Hawaii. She loves to sing and dance. Well, here is one of the gifts of this crazy time. Tell them, Elaine, what they can do.
First of all, Hawaii, that's my favorite place. So hi. Fortunately, the positives of Zoom is that we are now holding all of our classes online. And we have people from around the country joining our classes. So we have all ages, all abilities, everything from social skills classes that use improvisation to rehearse for life, to musical theater classes where we are learning from classical and contemporary musicals and performing, to comedy improv, to songwriting, poetry. And then what you see here is the Miracle Project Company class. So, and we are really, we want you to join us, everybody. This is what's exciting.
Yeah.
We're able to offer these classes to everyone now.
Isn't that amazing?
We may continue that.
Well, I hope you do, at least a little bit when we're back to whatever the normal is. I hope that you continue it a little, because it gives other people opportunities. So even if you're in Hawaii, where would you go, Elaine? And we have people who've written in that they're watching in India.
Oh, wow.
And Bangalore, India. So where would they go if they wanted to take a class?
Yeah, same thing. Go to themiracleproject.org. And we have all our classes listed, but you could also just email. When you go to the site, you'll see there's something where you can contact us, and we'll get back to you. Just tell us a time zone, and we'll make sure we get back to you and sign you up.
There you go. And so, I asked what was the hardest thing. I now want to know, what's What's been the most amazing thing that you've learned during this particular production? Because you've all been doing different things with the Miracle Project, but what is this, the influencer taught all of you? Dom, you want to go first?
I think it's taught me, like, you know, how to use Zoom more better, like, you know, just get around online instead of like being out there.
Very cool. Dylan and JoJo, what have you guys, what's like the best thing that you've gotten out of this?
So we mentioned that I've been writing a lot of it, and in the past, a few years ago, I would have never imagined writing anything more than a sentence. And now Influencer has inspired me to start working on my own projects.
There you go. There you go. JoJo, what about for you?
I think that doing all of this has just, I've met so many kind people through this, so many talented people. They've all been so nice. I'm just so happy to be part of the Miracle Project community.
Wonderful. And Monique, not just this production, but as a parent, what has it meant to you having Dom have the opportunity to be a part of the Miracle Project as a whole over the years? What has that meant for you?
As a whole, over the years, it's meant the world. They're a family to us. We've grown with them. And then the biggest thing that I think that came out of this particular production, I saw that they can overcome anything. You know, this was a very big thing, this pandemic, and very trying. And when they shut us all in, like that first 2 weeks was really, really stressful and trying. And when this Zoom thing came up and they had that first Zoom class, he didn't know how much he enjoyed it because it was new and he wanted to be there with them. But at the same time, he was seeing everybody, and we hadn't seen anybody for like, what, 2 or 3 weeks. So they just became strong and they pulled through. And so I just think they can overcome anything. They can do anything they put their minds to.
What a great life lesson.
Beautiful.
What a great life lesson to give our kids. Okay, so again, tonight, the half-hour performance it's the world premiere. And what time is it happening, Elaine?
So we're going to open the doors at 4:50 Pacific time, which is Eastern time, 7:50, and Hawaii time, 3 hours difference. So yeah, I think it's like 1:50, and then the show will be starting promptly at 5:05. So we'll be promptly starting then, but come in early because you'll see photos and there'll be music and original music from one of our composers. And then we'll have a Q&A at the end. So there'll actually be, the show itself is a half hour, and then there's a Q&A at the end. So, you know, the whole thing will be about 45 minutes. And then on Sunday with sign language interpreter, the show starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Now, are you also doing performances on Friday and Saturday?
We're not. We're doing
Thursday and Sunday.
Thursday and Sunday. And then down the road, and Shannon, when this happens, down the road, we will have it available on demand.
Fabulous.
But that's in the works.
I gotta say, you know, we had to change how we do things here. But we couldn't do this before. We always wanted to do this and we couldn't do this before. And I watched a lot of different outlets, but I just want to say that, not to diss anybody, but we watched Saturday Night Live try to do what I think you guys have been successful at. I think you've done a better job at it than Saturday Night Live. So, and they had everything at their disposal. And I know you guys are often weaving things and going, you know, I've got a barn, you've got drums, let's do a show.
And it's all done with our phones.
We've got a cell phone.
Yeah, you got a
Shannon,
cell phone. You can
May,
make it
may I
happen.
may I quote you? May I say?
Sure, absolutely.
You guys remember this quote, okay? We heard it here. We did it better than Saturday Night Live. I think so too.
You know, absolutely. I'm just saying, and not by a little. I think by a mile. You did it better than Saturday Night Live. So congratulations. And if that doesn't show the world what our kids are capable of, then I don't know what would. So I'm so proud of all of you for the work that you have done. And I just want to, we're running out of time, but I just want to give everybody a quick second to give a shout out to why the world should be watching tonight. So who wants to go first? I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but why should the world watch tonight? Why is this not to be missed? Elaine, do you want to go first?
The world needs to watch this tonight because it will fill you with joy, hope, and a sense of the impossible is possible.
And we need some of that just about now, right? Dom, why do you think the world should watch this tonight?
The world should be watching tonight because we are showing that we are able to do anything, including a virtual show, even if we have to.
There we go. Monique?
I agree with Dom and Elaine, and I think that they should watch just to be a part of the history. This is history.
Absolutely. Dylan?
The world should be watching just because it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, the world should watch to see that people with autism can be creative. They can be theatrical.
Wonderful. And some of our viewers are writing in and saying Miracle Project is an inspiration. And I think that that's absolutely true. And the mom of the daughter in Hawaii said, ooh, she did 2 clappy hands and she said, ooh, I will tell my daughter I'm so happy to hear about the online options. And she said, yay. So again, we've got just time, one more time, Elaine. Where do they need to go to get the tickets to be able to see tonight's performance?
themiracleproject.org.
Okay.
And that'll take you to our homepage, and then you'll see, the page of the influencer.
Great. And so you want to get tickets either for tonight for the premiere, and there's the talk back afterwards, the Q&A afterwards, or for Sunday's sensory friendly performance where there's going to be somebody signing and there'll be closed captioning. Mm-hmm. So it's the choice between those 2 performances now. And there's also a talk back on Sunday.
Yep. There'll also be a talk back with the actors on Sunday as well.
Wonderful. So that's not to be missed, you guys. All right. Well, I just want to thank all of you for taking time out of a very busy day to be with us to share this important stuff. And thank you for being such a light on this planet in a time when we need all the lights we can find, right? Yeah. So
thank you.
See you guys shine tonight.
Thank you so much, Shannon. We love you. Thank you so
much.
Thank
you, Shannon.
Thank you. It's great to see you guys. So it's like so much fun. All right. I'm just going to finish out the show. You guys can stay or go, whatever you choose to do. I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow we're back here with Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy. Licensed marriage and family therapist Vince Redmond will be joining us then. And don't forget, we're inviting everyone to take part in the Joanne Lara virtual memorial that's happening on Saturday morning. That is on our Facebook right now. You do have to register for that so that you can get the code to get into the memorial on Saturday morning. But we're going to be back tomorrow with more of Autism Live, and Nancy Alspaugh-Jackson will be joining me. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Tune in tonight to see this wonderful show by the Miracle Project. Thanks, you guys, for being with us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.
You guys were awesome.
You were awesome.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you so much. Thanks, you guys. Wave goodbye to everybody.
Bye-bye. Cool.
You see my jacket?
They can still see you.
Oh, okay.